A landlord from New Jersey is fed up with all of the crime, problems, and government incompetence and is selling all of her rentals within the city. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. Are you an aspiring landlord looking to buy your first rental property? Or perhaps you're a small real estate investor with one or two properties and you're trying to move up to the next level. You could use consulting, and I'm offering consulting here through Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. If you're interested, please send me an email at tony@northomahainvestments.com. All right, so I have an interesting article for you today, and it's coming out of Jersey City, New Jersey. So Jersey City obviously is right across from Manhattan, and it has problems. It has a lot of problems, and one landlord in particular is fed up, absolutely sick of all the crime, all of the incompetence from the government, and all of the issues, not to mention the losses that she took during the pandemic. So she's selling her rental property. She's getting out of the rental business within the city, okay? And I don't blame her. I don't blame her one bit, because this is exactly the sort of stuff that I say will happen all over in all these places where they have anti-landlord laws, where the police can't enforce the law and they don't want to prosecute criminals. Well, guess what's going to happen? Those people who pay taxes, those people who care, who want to make the place better and who want to invest their money there, they're going to leave. They're going to leave. They're going to take their money with them, because there is no benefit to investing and trying to be a landlord in such a place like this, okay? And that is exactly what this lady's doing, okay? And I wouldn't have invested there in the first place. I mean, Jersey City, I believe, does have rent control, and that would have been a big enough factor to get me out of there. But I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe back in the past when she bought these properties, maybe the market or the environment was a little bit better there, and unfortunately, things changed. So it's a bad situation, but I like to highlight these stories because real landlords like me, like all the people watching this video, this is the kind of stuff we experience all over the country. Okay, so before I get into the article, go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button, maybe leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. So, have you ever had issues with one of your rental properties with crime in the area, and have they been able to do anything? Okay. I invest in low income areas. So yeah, crime can be a factor, but I would never invest in an area that was a war zone. And that's what sounds like that this neighborhood that this landlord was in, it became a war zone. Gangs running around, shootings going on all the time, and the police, they just stood by and did nothing. And I think the main factor was that it was a bunch of people who were under 18. So we had a bunch of juveniles, and they didn't want to, we can't arrest them, we can't punish them for all of the wrongs they're doing. And the result is, well, you know what, the area became unlivable, unworkable for not just this landlord, but for all of her tenants as well. So anyway, let's get into the article and see what it says. This article is coming from the jcitytimes.com, and it says, fed up with crime and official indifference, a landlord gives up. Yeah, and she gave up. I mean, she's done, okay? And like I said, can't blame her. So let's see what the article says. A Greenville landlord is calling it quits, fed up by crime, official indifference, and pandemic policies that forced her to evict tenants who had fallen years behind on rent. Rhea Stathatos, a managing partner at York Funding, which owns rental properties in New York and New Jersey, isn't your stereotypical landlord. In June 2021, as crime surged on a Greenville block where she owns 3 buildings, Stathatos sent an email to anyone who would listen, including Mayor Fulop, pleading for help. My tenants at 137 Wilkinson Avenue, Jersey City, New Jersey, are scared to come out. We have scatters on the 3rd floor dealing drugs, shooting, robbing the neighborhood. The gangs are in the middle of the block controlling it. The police are on opposite ends, but we need help. They are threatening people in the neighborhood, and everyone is scared to speak. Please, could someone please help us? We can't take the crime anymore. People are calling me and crying. Wow, that is, that's extreme right there. Okay, I can't say that I have dealt with any problems quite that severe at any of my properties. Okay, but I understand where she is coming from, and the tenants are calling her. They're saying, "Hey, this is there's out of control crime, drug dealing, shootings going on, gangs. This is insane. Please do something." And begging the city, please do something. Shut this stuff down. And they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. So what did you expect her to do? Did you expect her to just sit there and just take it? No, no, she's getting out, and that was probably the best thing that she decided. Okay, just to sell the properties, get on out of there, and let someone else handle all that problem. Eventually, what happens to properties like this in these war zones is they end up boarded up, stripped out, just become dilapidated. I don't know if that'll happen in a place like Jersey City. Jersey City is still in high demand, even with the crime, just because of its proximity to Manhattan. So it blows my mind, though, that people would be willing to live in such a disastrous area. Maybe things will change. Maybe things will get better. We can always be hopeful, but this landlord's not sticking around to find out. She followed up with calls. I called the mayor multiple times. I called the DA's office. No one is doing anything, she said in a recent conversation. Now her 3 buildings on Wilkinson Avenue are up for sale. She says her company is done with Jersey City. A week before Stathados' 2021 email, the Jersey City Times had reported that a band of 30 to 40 young men had been terrorizing residents. Gunfights and killings had residents, many senior citizens, hiding inside their houses, ducking for cover. The police said they were limited in what they could do because of orders from above to stay at their fixed posts on Martin Luther King Drive and Ocean Avenue at either end of the long block. I hate to say it, right? But this is the truth. Those kids that were causing all this trouble, those 30 to 40 young men, they're talking about teenagers here, right? And they live in the block, okay? They live in the housing, the neighborhood that's being terrorized. That's where their homes are, which tells you that, hey, the problem is deeper than what you think. The real problem is that, one, we have a bunch of kids who are running rowdy with no parental supervision, no parents who even care. The parents might even be involved in this stuff as well, right? So we got a bunch of bad parents going on. But two, here's the other issue, right? And this should tell you about all of the landlords in the area, right? Your screening practices suck. Okay, maybe it's no choice of your own because of rent control policies, because of all the government regulations that basically force you to never be able to evict these people. But if where I live, if there were a bunch of bad gang member, kids living inside the housing, man, we just get rid of those tenants. We just wouldn't renew their leases, or we'd evict them, or whatever necessary. Get those people the heck out of there. And unfortunately, in a place like Jersey City, New Jersey, where tenant protections, oh, you can't evict them just because their son murdered somebody down there. Like, yes, that's a good reason to evict somebody. Your son who lives with you is a gang member who's shooting up the neighborhood and selling drugs. Maybe we can't get rid of you unless we get rid of your, or we can't get rid of your son unless we get rid of you. So maybe you both got to go. Your family is the one causing these problems, so you've got to go. And that's, you've tied landlord's hands. And that's why this landlord has to sell, because you can't get rid of these bad tenants. I think it mentioned in one of these earlier paragraphs, it said something about, it said, hold on one moment. I just can't find it. Oh, it says, my tenants at 137 Wilkinson Avenue, Jersey City, New Jersey, are scared to come out. We have scatters on the 3rd floor dealing drugs, shooting, robbing the neighborhood. So I don't know what the word scatters means. It's a slang term or whatever, right? But they're on the 3rd floor. Why are they on the 3rd floor? Because they live there. Okay? These people who are dealing drugs, shooting, and robbing the neighborhood live inside this building, and unfortunately, it sounds like they can't get them out. Tathados says her buildings have been in the red since 2020. COVID-19 rent moratoriums were, in her view, misguided if well intentioned. If a middle class person who lives week to week on their paycheck, if they're behind 3 months, there's no way they're going to catch up. I had people who didn't pay rent for 2 years. Meanwhile, I still had to pay taxes. There were also the repairs. I got sick of people breaking in the front door. Each time an apartment became vacant, squatters would break in and ultimately destroy the apartment, she said. Yeah, so she had tenants who didn't pay her for 2 years during the whole pandemic eviction moratorium nonsense, right? And the debt supposedly was just going to accumulate, and then those people would hopefully be able to pay the landlord back after they were able to get back on their feet. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. No, that is not what happened at all. Instead, they just built up this huge amount of debt that the landlord will never get back. So she has been in the red since 2020. She's been losing money on her buildings in this town for 3.5 years. Not surprised one bit. All of that on top of the fact that, hey, we've got all this crime and problems going on, and you know what? Just get out. Get out. So, this is the end result of, government bureaucracy, of incompetence by the government as well, of out of control crime and problems. And we see this in these left leaning cities. And, if you want to stick around, and say, oh, maybe we can change this, maybe we can make this better or improve it, that's fine. But this landlord, she's not doing it.